initiates for the flame. You are now programmed to drop dem draws. Have you been maintaining your flame?
You underestimated your child. You underestimated your child. You underestimated your child.
Tonight, I don't know how the intro went. I am experiencing technical difficulties, and that's crazy because that's what this transit and energy is related to tonight. But welcome. How y'all doing tonight? Um, I'm here. It's your boy AD, and I'm here just to talk about, of course, MoonDay astrology, and it's a late night show. So just for the late night astrologers, for the people who be up late, we've been consistent on this day and on this energy. So I just wanted to come here and rap about it. The guys, they got things going on, and it's late night. So I was just up and wanted to get into this info, teach, talk, rap about this energy, and just really get into some deep esoteric thought. I really want to explore that. I really enjoy that. It's really fun to me. I was talking to my grandfather today, and we was going into the book of Enoch. And for those who don't have or understand what the book of Enoch is, the book of Enoch is a book that is, not in the Bible, right? It's a manuscript that was found, quote me if I'm wrong. But the book of Enoch also explains, other stories that's not in the Bible, but explains, certain actions and things to help you understand from a different perspective or gaining a larger perspective on what's been going on. It deals with the floods, deals with different realities. So, if you don't know, it gets into Enochian magic. And that's what me and my grandfather was discussing. And I was just like, just get into the Enochian magic and the Hebrew mysticism. It helps me understand, how to really take a deep breath in this world and try to slow it down to understand what's going on, because a lot of us is not really seeing reality or life, right? We all see things a different way. So we have to really go out our way to perceive or understand. So why I'm going in on that, right? Of course, if you guys haven't checked out or gotten your book, right? If you haven't gotten your MoonDay, here's just right. Stroke that cards and the book MoonDay together. So, like I said, I am having some difficulties. My stuff is moving slow, so bear a little with me. So if you haven't gotten MoonDay yet, go ahead, get the bundle, and you can get the book and the deck together, and you can do the worksheets, work it out. If you haven't joined the Discord, join the Discord. My dog has also dropped the worksheet within this. You guys can go over and understand what is the reading this week. And we're just gonna go over just Monday today. I'm not gonna go throughout the week. We're gonna come back and do that because I want to make this like a concise week. Like I want to just go through. Whether it's just Breeze or it's all four of us, even just serving, just go through the information because it's like being able to digest this information and take it piece by piece is the key to understanding it and be able to go on at different levels because it's like we got to build a foundation on practices, understand how to use it, understand why it works and why we're using it, right? Because sometimes we don't have a reason why we just do things. And when we create that reason and create a goal, we can evolve. Because when it comes to spiritual development, or when it comes to even healing yourself, right? We don't attack certain things. We don't have goals. We don't build up to nothing, right? And that's something we have to focus on. We have to focus on constantly growing. But in order to grow, we got to have a systematic order to it. Because it's like you can't get everything done in a day. You just can't. Like, you can get so many things done and you can make a process and build, especially with the things that you have to consider and with going into that time. So we have to like think about that and focus on it because that is key. Because when it comes to astrology, when it comes to tarot, these are systematical tools and that's been based on order, right? Tracking the moon is something that we have to do constantly. It's something that we have to constantly work with. And if we're, not keeping ahead of these things, we're in a way out of order. We're out of line. And this helps us bring alignment. Because that's what we want. That's how we deal with the bumps in the road. That's how we deal with the emotional outbursts. Because the way this transit looking, right, is we got a moon opposed Mars. And when it comes to the moon opposed Mars, it's positive a lot. And like I see this transit honestly a lot. And even with just this conjunction of Mars and Ketu, right? It's just powerful energy. But like the one thing we have to understand with oppositions, they cause and squares to they cause tension. And when it comes to tension in our life, we gotta learn how to use it and express it. Because it's like you going through things, right? Are you going through stuff and don't nobody know what's going on but you? And you might have told some people, they probably locked in with you and they hip to what's going on, but you still gotta battle your emotions, your thoughts that dwell around it. And if you don't deal with that in a certain way, it comes out, it expresses, you lash out on people. Sometimes you have emotional outbursts where you feel a certain way or you cry, you get panic attacks. There's so many things that go into it. So we have to find a balance and the key in a way that works with it. Because of course we're not gonna always be 100%. Of course our days are not always gonna be perfect. But when we get to that point where we can observe and choose how we can react and feel about it, that is the key in growth. Because it's like when it comes to all this astrology and this tarot, we get caught up into the readings. We get caught up into the divine divinatory aspects of it, which is great. We can use that. We can do that. Our mind and our life, right? Understanding our inner selves because I think we get lost, or even just like patterns, because we're not aligned with a lot of things, because a lot of these systems, these organizations, phones, so many things takes us away from what's actually happening. So I'm gonna pull up the worksheet, because the moon is in Aquarius, and we gotta realize that if you in our deacon astrology too, because that's what the book focuses on. So make sure you get MoonDay, so you can get the part of the worksheet. But like I said, my stuff is moving a little slow, so give me some time. It's acting a little goofy doof, but who cares? The show must go on, and it's actually, it's kind of fitting the energy of tonight where Mars is at, because it's like, I'm fighting this battle right now, and boy, my laptop broke on me the other day, man. I was, ooh wee, that mother worked good and fast. That mother went out. It was like wah wah wah. So it's cool. I got another. I got. Look, I'm motion. You think I was Mr. Beat the Road? I got the Mac. Look at the crib. I got another laptop and letting somebody else use. They working off that mud. Like I got plays for days. I'm good. It was just that was just my little shooter, my little hip keeper. I carry it everywhere. Have it up on a pillow. The way I broke it, man, I was just walking around with it. I was just walking around with it while I was working on it. I was in a meeting with the guys who building stuff. I don't know, as I hit the door, I said, that mother fell. I said, well, I just picked it up. That mud was blue, had different wiring colors on it. So I'm like, it's cool. I ain't tripping. I'm good. I ate that off the muscle, off the bone. So, but here, let me zoom in on it so y'all can see it. Why is it zooming out? Alright. Yeah, I should be good. Oh man, look, y'all, I'm sorry. I told y'all I'm having technical difficulties. So one more. Is that good? Like, subscribe, comment. Hit me up in the chat. Let me know what's up. If you got any questions, go ahead and drop them. All right, so now this sheet, I'm gonna do this breakdown of it. This Big Bro been teaching us, right? You've been here every Monday. Show this right on this left column is Monday through Sunday. On here it shows you where the moon is at throughout tracking it. And it goes through the houses where you can track where the moon has been. And then here you have the tarot cards, right? Where the moon will land up at. So Monday is on the Six of Swords, right? So we're only going to focus on Monday today. So if we can just block out the rest of the sheet, and the reason why I said we're only going to focus on Monday is because I want us to be able to digest tarot and all these things easier. And plus, I want us to go throughout the week. I want us to really track the energy. I want us to really work through this, because it's like, it's easy to give somebody some work and expect them to do it. And it's like I'm not trying to hold y'all hands, but it's like I'm trying to like do the work with y'all because it's like we all got to do this work. We all got to be focused, and it's like we are a community, a team. So it's like in our development, we got to keep each other accountable. We got to show up, and like this is what this energy is having. So it's like with this moon in Aquarius, right? We're dealing with the star card because that's the major arcana card. Sword. So let me pull up the. So we can like see where the moon is at and what is being processed. Because the reason on the sheet, if you see futility, science and futility are the two cards that we are going to be covering throughout the week. But the one card that we're going to be focused on is the Six of Swords, right? And that will be science. Futility will be tomorrow, Tuesday. So we're going to be back here. And I'm trying to be here a little earlier. If not, I'm going to do a pre-recorded show. But I'm going to be back here so we can go over Tuesday and just work through the energy. You know what I'm saying? I know it's like a little late at night. So, you know, you probably had some things happen today. And boy, I had some stuff that happened today. Boy, it goes along with this transit. I promise when I get to talking about my day tonight, I was like, boy, what the hell? So now for us to focus, we're going to break down the cards. We're going to go into the star card. We're going to go into the deacons that hold the card, right? Because that's where the moon is at. And we got to remember the moon is waning right now. So this is a good time for us to really like get into what's going on in our energy. Because it's like Aquarius is an air sign, right? And then the moon's here. So air signs can be very, you know, detached, you know, also but talkative, open, you know, open-minded. You know, this is like this whole deacon right here is covered with swords. So we're dealing with strong mental aspects. But I want us to see where we're getting our information from. Because being able to break this stuff down and just process it is what makes it easy. Sometimes we get up here, we see too many things that's distracting our eyes. We see all these lines, we see all these planets, but we could just hone in and focus on one thing at a time. We can slow it down and be able to read it like it's slow, but we're reading it pretty fast. So the moon, right? Right here on the chart, it's showing seven swords, right? And that'll be futility. Right here is like more the Six of Swords. No, I'm so sorry. Right here, that's Five of Swords. Middle will be the Six of Swords. So that's where at. Seven Swords be right here where Rahu is at. Right, and that's the North Node by Ketu is right here by Mars. So excuse me on that. So with the Six of Swords is science. I'm gonna pull this up, and I got two books here too that I'm gonna put on the Patreon for free. You know what I'm saying? Or the tiers that go with it. But I might just drop one of them on there for free so you can have it just to work with. But the Book of Thoth and Thoth Tarot Understand. You want to have these tools in your arsenal so you can be able to just get deeper introspection of the cards, because you know we gave you the cards and the book and how to use it, but this is just deeper information on the cards, so you can just like be able to like break it down. You know what I'm saying? Like some people like the nitty gritty. I like the nitty gritty. I like the details. You know, I'm a Virgo moon, so I love the details. You know, they say the devil's in the details. So hey, I be playing with that fire. Okay, initiates for the flame. You know what I'm saying? You know they say in Capricorn, you know, the devil's on top of that mountain, man. So you gotta climb that mountain, meet the devil, really yourself. Shine. So let me pull up the Six of Swords because this is a type of archetype. Well, first let me pull the Star card because that's where you know what I'm saying, going in and out. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, I'm standing the ground because with this, I'm talking about two cards. We're going to talk about where Mars is at opposing and where Moon is at opposing. You know what I'm saying? And that's going to help us be able to digest the transition because that's what we're focusing on. And the Moon tracker, the Moon is at deeply. And then when we get deeply into the approach for other people, because you being able to digest the meanings is going for you to be able to build the word. Because you got to realize, you know, a lot of things. If it wasn't for words and language, a lot of things wouldn't be. I'm being for real. Like that's why they say watch your tongue. There's a lot of things you can speak into existence, and we don't really see the power of that. So we got to understand that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So a little bit of the Six of Swords. I guess I'm cool because it's taking time. But when it comes to the Six of Swords, it's actually one of my favorite cards because it also relates to fencing, and that's the symbolism the card represents. Because when you think of fencing, you have to be able to attack from different angles, be able to switch it up, be able to see a different perspective, be able to hit and walk from an angle that you probably didn't see it once, or you or it's deep, man, because the card holds over it. It's called science. And when we think of science, we think of basically magic. We think the deep of thoughts. I want us to focus on the deep, magic, because that's where all this lies at. Like I don't know if they are deep, but we have to understand how to build a approach to it. Because most of the time we don't. Most of the time we just do shit and expect it to work. And we never had a goal. We never build up from a plan. And working with this astrology does that because it's like, AB. So you're saying, it's just saying. So if I come here every Monday, work with y'all on the moon, I'll be able to understand myself, improve my life based on a psychological approach to myself. And I'm going to use astrology to do that. Yes, because you have to see that everything is connected from a micro perspective and a macro perspective. These cards is basically the astrology wheel in our hands. We can basically formation this card on the table and and make sigils. All right, we just got to go deeper into sigils and magic more on it because it's like, we kind of look over the spirits that's within these cards. So looks like my shit. I think so. So this, man. Like, do my move slow like I did. His days were zippity fast. Like, I don't get it. I'm telling y'all, man. Like, hey, I'm still here. I'm fighting. I'm fighting. I ain't giving up. If I gotta shut it down, we're gonna be back here. I'm gonna have my brothers with me. My brothers gonna back me up. The Matrix trying to beat me right now. I ain't going. But hey, the Matrix window, I'm gonna come back with my brothers. Neo had a team. Neo had a whole. But my that's what I meant. That's what I meant. So let me get into the star card while this loading. Y'all can hear me? So, hey, what's up with it? You can. My bad. All right, so in the Book of Thoth, the star card is attributed to the letter Hey. As explained elsewhere, it refers to the zodiac sign Aquarius, the water bearer. The picture represents Nu, Our Lady of the Stars. For the full meaning of the sentence is necessary to understand the first chapter of the Book of Paul. If you haven't, you should go check that out. That's another book by Paul. It's right. The figure of the goddess is shown in manifestation that is not as surrounding space of heaven, where she is pure physiological idea continuous in the omniform. In this card, she is definitely personified as a human seeing figure. She is represented as bearing two cups, one golden, held high above her head, from which she pours upon it. These cups resemble breasts, as is written the milk of the stars from her paps, right? And you should get into Egyptian mythology, aka going into Book of the Dead, Egyptian Book of the Dead. But there's also other Book of the Dead to get into, right? The Tibetan Book of the Dead. So like reading those type of styles of books helps you like really get into this. Because even the website I'm on to help you understand tarot cards, he got into these books, and that's where I'm at learning, reading. Because I'm like, oh, okay, and because it's like we got to be able to like just get into the information and sometimes just see how things is explained. Because that's how my mind works. It's like, okay, I'm gonna see what they did with it, why they doing it, how they did it, and then I'm like, oh, okay, and then that makes me learn how to use it. All right, so make sure my studio's still up. Okay, it still is. Bet. Yeah, see, so as we was reading, it's a beautiful card, really positive meaning. The central figure is the goddess of good form, which is different from her former state, as we see in the Aeon card. So we're gonna get it at a different time, but check out the Aeon card. So every woman and man is a star. Aleister Crowley. Now, make sure you get to Crowley. Of course, it's always gonna be some shit about people, but man, it's like just get into the info. Leave it out of that. I don't got time for it. So the star, right? The star represents the eternal mother, the all-encompassing unity of life, from which all possible manifestations and creations come. All that can be possible. Right? So I want us to understand, right? goal of, what we're really here for, and we find that out within ourselves. But we understand the greatness within ourselves, and a lot of people don't understand that we all have God within. When we overlook that, when we get lost from that, we kind of just go in a spiral. But we have to build, and we all have spirals within us, which is our chakras. So when we go in a spiral, our chakras are out of line, and we have to line those back up. And this tree of life and these tarot cards help us with that. Imagery, messages through meaning, right? Get your drift, right? Because it's like you got to get out of the stage of mind, let people talk about you on this crap, or people feel some type of way, or if you're in that hokey pokey, like, magic is magic. You do your thing with it. But it's like when we went on chaos magic last time, we have to understand belief and our ideals. This helps us understand that. And I don't understand the belief and ideal of you, right? If we book a reading, like, we're gonna understand you, we're gonna have the deep talks, right? But you have to be honest with yourself and be clear on who you are, right? Because as we look at all these stars and all these celebrities, they know who they are. They know what they do, right? And we have to be focused on that. So, star card. Once we realize who we are as a star, we can really focus and create a lot of stuff. Because as we got into MoonDay, right, and the chart, the star helps us activate our psychic abilities, right? Understanding, right, the potential of the universe is within us, so we have to tap into that. We have to go inward. And a lot of times that we tend to overlook when it comes to astrology and tarot cards is the meditation, right? We overlook meditation a lot because meditation. See, look, so even with Breeze wrote down below, he talks about how this cycle is going to be a critical one, but we have to have ourselves to be guided by intuition, right? And this Monday Sunday is meditation, taking a break from all social media. So we have to really focus on the meditation within ourselves, because with this opposition of Mars and Leo, the lust card, right? And I'm not going to pull all that up. I'm not going to go that deep. You know what I'm saying? I just want to pull the star card because that's what it means. We'll pull up Leo maybe a different time, or we'll talk about it in the Discord. We'll talk about it in Discord. We talk about Leo and pull up some cards in Discord. And we're going to see what y'all going to say. And maybe y'all can speak on some moments where you had strength, or where you conquered your lust, or when your lust got the best of you. You know what I'm saying? Because Moon opposed Mars, we have to understand the detachment that we need to take with the calm, smooth effort, but also understanding with this Mars and Leo how to stand our ground. Because let me go over Six of Swords, right? Before I get out of that, because I said I was going to do that. Because the Six of Swords, I didn't even do that. I clicked the wrong thing. Now my shit finna take long. Hold on. Okay, there it go. Yeah, flameonshop.com. Make sure you guys check out the Discord. Join the Discord. We're going to continue the convo in the Discord with the Leo. And like I said, check out the Patreon, and I will get these books uploaded to the Patreon. So let's go with that's a lot of work. All right, so now earlier I was talking about science, and when we were talking about science, because that's what the Six of Swords represents. This is Mercury in Aquarius. So when we understand and pull this up, right? The Six of Swords. Look at this, guys. The Six of Swords is formerly known as the Lord of Earned Success, implying success after struggle. Six of Swords come together in a rose-leaf cross at the center of the card. In the center, there's a circle within a square, and background is very chaotic. So now, I remember when I don't know if y'all remember, but I said, what if I told you if you fell 30 more times, you would get your come up after that? You fail a few more times, you'll come up and you go up after that. So the Lord of Earned Success applies to success after struggle. Now, when we realize that, you know, so first let's look at this card. Women and child living above, they are going to turn away from terrible man. Start again with a new life somewhere else, right? You know, they like fucking leave. Then we not even try again. Sorry, I did have to laugh about that. So first, I want us to understand that it's Mercury. All right, we have to understand the mercurial energy within this card because that's where the magic is coming from, right? Because it's like you see all this information and all this divination with this, but it's really understanding that dealing with when it comes to sword cards, you have to deal with your mental space a lot because a lot of times we are not really focused, right? Because this is where the part of the detachment comes in, right? This is where you have been really trying to get through a situation where you're really trying to fix yourself, where you're really trying to learn, but you have to do it from different steps, different approaches. Like within the card or the reading of MoonDay, this is a weekly. Within Monday and this week, this is like a tough day you're gonna be going through, right? Especially when we're dealing with that Mars opposition energy, because that's Mars and Leo, right? And I think with the Seven of Wands is Mars and Leo too. Yeah, see when a card is actually in that transit, it gives it more energy. Like it actually is personified and stronger. Because it's like with this image, the Seven of Wands. So I want to let you know sevens, right? Sixes and sevens are different from each other, right? Even though the Six of Wands is a good card, like the seven, it's really not that good because like we're dealing with an energy of struggle. That's what this opposition is showing us. And I'm taking tarot card, and looking at the meeting to get a deeper understanding of this opposition, right? Because of course we have the meeting of the Moon and Mars, but now we're looking at an aspect of divination, but it's through inner work and observation because we're going off the energy of the places, but we're also focusing on what's happening internally, what's going on in our life. And the Seven of Wands, right, is showing that you going through some shit, but you gonna win. Like, look at this image, right? The other one was a person in a boat leaving, right? They finna go try something new. They say, we finna leave and get out of here. We're going to a new spot. Here, you got a person who's standing on high ground and is being attacked by other people, right? So the choices and decisions that you making might not serve the other people around you, right? You probably have to take a heroic stance. You probably have to stand your ground and come from a different spot because look, this is the sevens. Sevens are not the best card in the tarot deck. Like, seven is my lucky number. I love the number seven for some reason. So I guess I like the struggle. I don't know. I really don't. But the challenge for me to grow. But I think sometimes we want this type of struggle where we're like, I had to get it out the mud. And some of y'all want to be like the Seven of Cups, where you have to get out the mud. Some of y'all want to be like the Seven of Swords, where you was like, I was just making stupid choices and thinking stupid. Some of y'all want the Seven of Discs, where it was like, I was falling at every corner. I wasn't giving up, and I was just strong about it. I took that shit to the chin. Seven of Wands. This is like you. You was really like fighting. You was fighting people. If you was Seven of Wands person, you was fighting people. You was hitting, bumping heads, and you came out on top with some bruises. Cause look, that's like a beat up wine in the middle versus some wines that's got that drip on, that shit on. So, but that Leo energy, you stand tall. So what I'm trying to say here is that, in the Book of Thoth and Thoth Tarot, they say about this card. This card is more of a cruel 7-1, more like a club, foreshadows the other six and delivers a sobering message. The 4 sevens are not capable of bringing any comfort. Each one represents the degeneration of the element. Its utmost weakness is exposed in every case. There's still enough power and energy in the 7 of Wands to slug it out, but the situation has degenerated into such a mess that nobody is sure with whom is to slug it out. It may be that blow here or there will find its mark, but more times than not, it's a waste of energy. So more like Mars may find a measure of more support and proud and fire Leo, but it's a tragic joke down the tree of life, because it's like when we get into Kabbalah and the tree of life, right? We have to understand what each spear and Sephiroth means. So if you want to understand Kabbalah stuff, of course, work with the niches. But if you go to the White Rabbit Substack, Hood Mystic has been dropping information and articles on Kabbalah. He's been going on Kether. He's been going over the Sephiroth, how you want to call it, how you want to rap about it. But go check it out. The White Rabbit Substack. You know what I'm saying? My boy is top 45. You know what I'm saying? He up there with the big dogs and spirituality and information on Substack. So make sure you check him out. Get bro to top 30, get him to top 10. Because he deserves to be up there. His work ethic is top tier for real. You know what I'm saying? So make sure you check that out because you can get deep understanding. But we're going to go a little bit over the tree of life. I'm not going to just explain a lot because I don't want to overwhelm you with information because I have been just jotting a lot and going into this info. But it's just more as in like a deep, kind of like a deep esoteric, a little ramble just on these cards and the info, because it's like, of course, I want you to do your own study, but just hear like of this going through the information and just really seeing the energy act out. Because this is us learning about different archetypes within the tree. Because right now it's showing us that sevens, right? When you understand that each sphere is ruled by a planet, you can understand the energy more. So when other planets or other cards that are being, expressed through this energy, you're starting to see like, oh, okay, I get it. Because the deacons, right? The deacons help us understand the expression throughout the tarot wheel. And then the astral chart, right? So when a planet lands here and is on this deacon, this is the energy and expression. And a tarot card lines up to that. So I'm gonna go back to the chart. I told you my shit moving slow, boy. Here, while that's low, I'm gonna grab some water. Let's just take a second. Just hold on, give me a second. Fine. I need some water. All right. Um, I, I had to get some water, but I got choked severely today at training. But my motherfucking Alabama was hurt. I'm like, ooh. I was like, damn. I caught that belt. You just know I got mine today. I got mine. So if I get God, I'm gonna get mine. So I'm trying to. Okay, there you go. So what I was trying to show you is where Mars is at. So the tarot card is actually on where the actual Mars is at. So like that's pretty cool. So this energy is like really strong and personified right now. Like it's one thing where you got like like for say the Nine of Wands, right? Is in Sagittarius, but the Nine of Wands is ruled by the moon. So when the moon is actually there on the Nine of Wands, it's really going to be personified and strengthened and really go inside. Because it's like with this, you really might be, protecting yourself, speaking your voice, shouting out to niggas. It's like, bro, I'm not going for that, bro. Like, I'm not going for that. Like, quit doing all that. Like, that's what this energy of Mars is like really seeing right now. So it's like you have to be able to do that from a rational, detached place. Because like our last episode, remember, we was going over how somebody got caught up into an argument at Mickey D's, right? We as people, we really have to realize how to diffuse, rationalize, and get out of certain situations. We put ourselves in spots and then be wondering like, what happened? Why is it? We gotta realize what we do. See, when my father told me, one act of anger, one act of lust, one act of greed, it only takes, those energies only take 10 minutes to express itself. It don't need long. It don't need long. You express that, you will be possessed so quick. You'll be like, whoa, I'm here now. So we focus on the strength card, lust card. We get into tarot card, the Seven of Wands. We have to realize that we fighting a fight that might be not worth the cause, but when we realize this opposition and this tension that we can really get through, because remember, the Six of Swords was science, aka the Lord of Earned Success. We're going to get something out of this struggle, but we got to make sure we're actually, fighting right, because the Six of Swords is science. So we got a Seven of Wands. So we got the energy, we got the drive. Now we got to make sure we're approaching it right. We got to make sure we're focused. We got to make sure we're meditating, because that is the key. Because it's like a lot of us skip the meditation. We got to get the meditation hours in. Even if it's 5 minutes, right? If you can do, let's say you can do 3 times a day, 5 minutes, right? And you do that every day, consistently, over a amount of time, you have put in a certain amount of hours within that, right? They say a person who puts in over 1,000 hours within something is technically within the league of being an actual practitioner or an actual professional within that. You have to put time and work and effort into stuff. Just because you threw down some seeds doesn't mean it's gonna grow. You gotta be willing to come back, water, and put in the work. And like, cause I remember I was growing lion's mane, right? I had a whole batch. Oh, I took it to the chin because it's like I'm learning. I learned what I did wrong. It was my fault that they went bad. But sometimes we don't want to accept that. So all my lion's mane, went out. So I was like, it's cool. I'm gonna just regrow more. I'm gonna just keep going. I just know what to do different now. And that's what we have to focus on. Because it's like if we overlook that, we overlook the process that what we were trying to do. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave it there because this has been a cool show. I just wanted to, keep this energy of MoonDay up. The guys been persistent. We always been working. A lot of stuff going on today. So I just want to come here and do a late night show. I trained pretty hard today. I studied, worked. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just here, man. I'm just putting in the work. I'm fighting the war. I'm on my 7 of Wands shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm just walking, going through this shit and staying tall, but I'm being smart and make sure I'm approaching things the right way. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to do the show for y'all. I want to also do it for the guys, do it for me, just do it for the flame, just put in the work. It's late night, so guys will see you in the morning. Hope you enjoyed the show. I hope it was very informational. Like I said, I am going to continue this conversation in the Discord. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to be talking more, and we're just really just going to be digesting what we really got into, because it's like I said, I want us to go through this throughout the week and daily, because things are happening in your life, and we got to build a conversation. Let's talk about like, yo, this happened to me, and I feel like it's related to this energy. We just been discussing, and the way I just been guided through it is this. You know what I'm saying? Or like when I be going through stuff, I just throw some ashwagandha in the back. You know what I'm saying? I just give you my ashwagandha tablets, and just be a wrap. I might make a smoothie and throw some ashwagandha in it. So just smash on that, because I know that's gonna be fire. But again, thank you. If you got any questions, hit them in the Discord. Join the Discord. Join the Patreon. Come get your moon bands. You see this month flexing on these, just busting with the white. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's your boy. I appreciate y'all for rapping with me. Sorry for the technical difficulties. I hope y'all enjoyed the show. Like I said, give me some time. I should have these up in 2 days or two, and I'm gonna put these on the Patreon, my bookheads. You know what I'm saying? It's your boy. Oh, I hope y'all like the overlay setup. You know what I'm saying? If you like the overlay setup, let me know in the comments. Let me know a little something I put together. I'm trying. I'm just learning. I'm gonna do something different. I just want to do a little neon style. You know what I'm saying? Just a little mix it up. But yeah, appreciate y'all. Have a good night.
Initiates for the flame. You are now programmed to drop dem draws. Have you been maintaining your flame?
You underestimated your child. You underestimated your child. You underestimated your child.